tonight for the triumphant return of the victorious Cornwall Rugby team. More than 10,000 people lined the streets to welcome back Trelawney's Army after clinching the county championship for the first time since 1908.
It was a moment the crowd had been waiting nearly 3 hours for, and a victorious chapter in history that Cornwall had waited 83 years to receive. As the bus carrying their conquering heroes approached the city centre, thousands of Cornish voices, many of them hoarse after constant cheering at Twickenham, grew into a crescendo.
Fantastic. Absolutely. First class.
They deserve all this.
They do, definitely, yes.
Have you lost your voice through shouting?
I do believe so. I'll go up to Twickenham again next year to find it.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Truro has never seen anything like this before, nor indeed has the county of Cornwall. The crowd is reaching fever-pitch excitement as within a few seconds the team will get off their coach to a rapturous reception from the people here.
A sea of black and gold greeted the triumphant team as the bus drew to a halt outside the City Hall. The fans' excitement reached a peak when they caught sight of the coveted county trophy. It was a welcome well beyond the expectations of the players themselves.
We expected to come back and be welcomed back, but we've been waved all the way into the county, all the way down through, and a terrific reception down here. So, chance of a lifetime, just once in a million.
Outstanding games in the history of rugby union. But it wasn't just the match itself, of course, it was the whole experience enjoyed by the near 40,000 Dutchy fans. Jerry Harmer reports.
And from early this morning, a mass exodus of fans has been heading southeast. Many have been coming by rail. 2 special trains were chartered, but for most, it's been the roads in cars, vans, and more than 170 coaches. And what all that has meant is this: Twickenham absolutely awash with black and gold.
Says it all, doesn't it?
Well, we're absolutely delighted. We could not have had a better final than Cornwall here again, 2 years after the last time, and Yorkshire, who also have considerable support. So we're absolutely delighted.
Were you surprised by this level of support for the county championship?
I suppose it is. We must confess to being surprised because it's more than double the previous record.
So now, after the months of anticipation, it's time for the action. And it's Billy Peters to start off this ADT County Championship final for Cornwall. Johnson missing out. Liley straight through the middle. Peters trying to get back. Harrison. Liley. That's the first try of the match to Yorkshire. So 26 minutes gone in this county final. John Liley with this kick to stretch Yorkshire's lead. That looks a better kick. He's made it. Well, Cornwall were caught napping there. Liley took the quick one, and over in the corner went the scrum half David Scully. Holds the ball at the back. Nanscoville picks it out. Atkinson. The pick up. Are they over that line? They are. Richard Nanscoville, the scrum half. As Nanscoville waits. Goes on the short side. Nanscoville's through. And what a delighted man. The scores are now tied. The crowd urging the Cornish to heave over that line. There they go. And the referee gives it. But it may even be Tommy Bassett. Nanscoville feeds Reed. 2 metres short, Cornwall. Billy Peters! Billy Peters goes all the way! And surely that must seal the county championship. Grant champion to put the icing on the cake. And that's the final whistle. Cornwall are the county champions for the first time since 1908.
It's been a just reward for the lads who've put a lot of dedication, a lot of time and commitment into training for the black and gold and for all the people out there, and it's nothing more than they deserve.
And what about your feelings on it?
Oh, I mean, I'm a very, very proud man, very proud. I didn't play all the game, but I was watching from the sides. I was with them every minute. I feel a little bit cheated, I think, sometimes, with not being out there all the time. But I'm really proud. You know, I am. I'm so proud of them, and I'm a Cornishman now, I think.
You are a
I am a Cornishman.
As Jason has commented already, is a marvellous comment, is the game's never over till the whistle goes. And it was always there for the taking. We knew our forwards could get the better of them, and it's just they never got into their game. And I think the spur that we needed was when they had their somewhat dubious try, whenever we thought they'd signalled. In fact, they had, but he never saw it. And they scored in the corner, and we got a little frustrated with that. And I think that gave us the spur to get on top.
I think when you pointed down, it's really basic. It was fitness that told in the end.
But in terms of what it'll actually do for Cornish rugby, in terms of how other people see it now, do you think it'll have done things?
I think it has. I mean, the crowd proved that. I mean, they've kept the county championship alive for a start. I mean, the crowd thing, and if we came again next year, the crowd will be here and probably more. And I think the county championship is live. Thank
officials, the 40,000 fans who are at Twickenham, and all those watching live on television at home. It was a day supercharged with emotion, agony and despair for almost an hour. Then ecstasy, disbelief and pure unadulterated joy.
From 16-3 down with only a quarter of an hour left, Cornwall produced one of the most astonishing sporting recoveries ever to turn the game round and win by 29 points to 20. Spotlight cameras were with the players and the supporters throughout a weekend of pride, passion and fierce Cornish spirit.
The latter-day Trelawney's army was on the march before first light. 30,000 plus, 1 in 12 of Cornwall's population, set off to watch their heroes liberate the county championship, dwarfing the 20,000-strong army that marched on London 300 years ago to liberate Bishop Jonathan Trelawney from the Tower of London. The team were already there, relaxing at a hotel, playing golf, but not without rugby tactics in mind. On the roads, there was a taste of what Trelawney's army hoped Cornwall would do to Yorkshire.
No, it's Yorkshire pudding eater, the original. Yeah, it lives on Yorkshire puddings and pasties.
Every vehicle seemed to be decked out in black and gold. Some 200 coaches had been chartered, and the singing started early. We love you, Cornwall. We do. Oh, Cornwall, we love you. Some had taken the chance to make a few bob from the occasion, selling souvenirs.
Well, I'm a Cornish butcher, you say, and I got every little bit helped. We got to make it what we can, sir. I was going to bring a few pork chops, but I didn't think they would keep long on there. But we're going to have a lovely day. All we want now is Cornwall to win, and we're right on.
And Cornwall's symbolic bird, the chough, once thought to be extinct, made a comeback for the occasion.
Yes, and it's been reared especially on Yorkshire puddings, you know, and very.
But there was no steadying them at the ground, where Trelawney's army was joined by another 10,000 expatriates, singing with one voice.
Little eyes, I love you, honey. Little eyes, I love you. I love you in the springtime and the fall. Honey, honey, honey. Little eyes, I love you, honey. Little eyes, I love you. I love you the best of all. Honey, honey.
Oh, this is Cornwall. It's Cornwall's here in London. It's not just the rugby. Rugby is important to the county, but this is the county backing the county.
And within that famous ground, all but full, the Yorkshire contingent might not have been there. It was a waving sea of black and gold in full cry for the team. But back home, as the clock struck 3, the streets were deserted. The entire county, it seemed, watching the game, willing on the team.
Heavily outnumbered on the terraces, Yorkshire set out to prove they weren't going to be easily outplayed on the pitch. And for an hour, they were in control. They were strong in the line-out, persistently accurate with their tactical kicking, and their backs were pacey and penetrating. A surging run by fullback John Liley set up an outstanding try by Johnson. After a Liley penalty, Grant Champion reduced the arrears, but Liley again restored Yorkshire's 7-point advantage soon after the restart. Then came the incident which even the stoutest Cornish hearts feared had clinched the game for Yorkshire. With Cornwall expecting another kick at goal, Liley opted instead for a short penalty and sent scrum half David Scully scampering over. The conversion left Cornwall trailing by 16 points to 3. This controversial moment was the turning point. Cornwall didn't lose heart, they found it, and from scarcely having been in the game, they suddenly discovered the passion and the form that had eluded them so far. Yorkshire had no answer as the Cornish fought back, urged on by fanatical support from the terraces and the sheer will to win the championship that had eluded them for so long. The forwards were outstanding, the pressure told. Scrum half Richard Nanscoville forced his way over, but even when another champion penalty reduced the deficit to just 4 points, it looked as though Cornwall would run out of time. Nanscoville thought differently. With seconds to go, he deceived Yorkshire's back row to level the scores. It gave former skipper Champion the chance to win the game there and then. Dramatically, he missed. On this unprecedented afternoon, the excitement was far from over. In extra time, Cornwall stormed on. Nothing, it seemed, could stop them now. Champion made up for his earlier miss to kick Cornwall into the lead for the first time. For some, it was unbearable tension. Veteran winger Tommy Bassett popped up in the ruck to force his way over, and standoff Billy Peters bulldozed his way through Yorkshire's despairing tackles to clinch it. Cornwall had scored 26 points without reply before Harrison's consolation effort for Yorkshire. No one had ever quite seen the like of it before.
On the final whistle, the emotion which had inspired the Cornish team from the terraces overflowed onto the pitch as the Cornish supporters surged towards their heroes. After an outstanding comeback, egged on by overwhelming support from the Cornish fans, the team was swept along on a tidal wave of gold and black for the ultimate moment of triumph.
How good to see Chris Alcock, the unlucky man who had to leave the field injured, lead them up the stairway for the moment of presentation from the Duke of Edinburgh, the patron of Cornwall Rugby Union, and the magnificent trophy goes to Cornwall, the ADT Security Systems champions of 1991.
For one man, the victory was especially sweet. Grant Champion, the captain when Cornwall lost in the final to Durham 2 years ago. At the time, he vowed Cornwall would return to Twickenham. But did he think they'd be back to win?
Well, prior to getting out on the field, I had every intention of us winning, but I suppose 60 minutes into the game, it looked a bit tight, being 16-3 down. But we came back well, and all credit to the forwards. They really were dominant in the last sort of 40 minutes, including extra time, and it was their efforts really that secured the game for us, and I'm just delighted. It hadn't sunk in yet. It's brilliant.
The last 10 minutes of the second half, they started to tire, and our biggest facet in the game was the rolling ball. They didn't really have no answer to it, so we kept doing it, and that's where the tries kept coming from.
Once we'd got in our game plan and the forwards got moving, that put us all on a different edge. We were going forward, makes everything so much easier from the backs, going forward, and really all that I did was just came off the side and rolled off Jason. Jason was the one that did the work, and I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time.
The triumphant celebrations on the battlefield continued as the Twickenham pitch was claimed for Cornwall. The crowd realised that history had been made. For the first time in 83 years, the County Cup was returning to Cornwall. For some, the emotion proved too much, and there was no holding back the tears. And the loyal Cornish supporters who'd travelled 300 or more miles to cheer on their heroes had nothing but praise for the Cornish team.
I think really that Cornwall needs something, because of the depressed area that we are, to really lift us up and to drive us on and to show people that we're not just stuck out in the back of the woods sort of place.
I thought it was a wonderful game. It was a wonderful day. And full credit to Yorkshire, it was a great game.
Oh, well, absolutely brilliant. That's what it was. You know, Yorkshire played well, but we were a better team on the day.
There's not many teams in the country that can give somebody 13 points start and still stuff them.
A remarkable team indeed, and one that captain Chris Alcock said had no real heroes, but incredible team spirit.
Well, I mean, it was unfair really for me to go up on my own. It should have been everybody had a hand over to pick it up. Well, it was really. But
you're right.
They did all the work. I mean, the boys were fantastic. They've been great all year, and the pack were tremendous. I mean, it's a shame to sort of single out 8 people, but they were brilliant.
From the border with Devon, the Cornish supporters lined the route home for the victorious team. On the outskirts of Truro, the players boarded an open-top bus. Their victory parade brought traffic to a standstill. But if the welcome on the way into the city was spectacular, the sea of black and gold waiting for them in the narrow ancient streets was overwhelming. The players could only shake their heads in disbelief. As the cup was held aloft outside City Hall, the gathered hordes of Cornish men and women burst into song, ably conducted by the players.
The corner we saw, you know, quite a few people, and then we came around again and we just couldn't believe it. It was packed.
Were you expecting anything like this at all?
Oh, well, we heard there was going to be a bit of a reception, but you know, nothing like this. Amazing. Brilliant.
Incredible.
Absolutely brilliant. Twickenham all over again, really.
Yeah, I mean, when 16-3 behind, I mean, the crowd were really behind you, and here they are again.
That's what did it. That's what did it. That's what pulled us back. Full time, we got in the huddle, and we saw destiny. All these people wanted it for us. Incredible. Look at them all here. Incredible.
The civic leaders led the emotional rendering of the Cornish anthem, Trelorn.
Welcome back in triumph, team. Do it again. We're glad you're back for the census day, so you'll be Cornishmen next year too.
Outstanding reception, and what more can you ask for?
Did you expect anything like this?
No, but we've had seen it building up all the way from Bodmin down. I mean, cars, people, and everything.
Every vantage point that offered a better view of the players was taken, be it from the windows or just Dad's shoulders. Then it was back on the bus as the players made for Camborne, assured of their place in Cornish folklore.
Well, after all those celebrations, you have to come down to earth sometime. And for many of the Cornish squad, it was back to the grindstone first thing this morning. John May, one of the famous all-farmer front row, had hungry sheep to tend to on his land at St Merrin. Meantime, at Newlyn Fish Market, the flanker Adrian Vick was tackling an altogether fishier challenge. And from fullback to frontline duty for fireman Kevin Thomas. Having just completed his training at Falmouth, today saw his first emergency call to a chimney fire. Well, what a treat for us in the studio tonight. We've got not only the trophy, but 3 chaperones here. Welcome and congratulations, gentlemen. If I can start with Bonzo Johns, who's the chairman of the selectors. A great day. How did it feel that moment when you really know you'd done it?
Oh, it's outstanding, really. I mean, it was a great day for the players, but not only the players, the county as well, and the spectators. I mean, we've got fantastic spectators. But I think it's also for the West Country itself, really.
Back on the milk round this morning, were you?
I'm afraid so, at 3:30 this morning.
Probably took twice as long to go round, didn't it?
Well, it did, actually. I had more bottles out with notes and congratulations than I did order extra milk, actually.
Of course, a lot of highlights in your own career. Any tinge of regret that you weren't actually achieve this during your playing years?
You do as your player. I mean, I was lucky enough to play in 2 finals, and I lost both of them, and this is my 2nd final as a committee member, but the thrill is just the same as when the players winning it, because we're actually are a family. The selectors and the players really are a family, and the club side really. I mean, so we try to involve everybody in the setup.
Well, Glyn Williams, vice-captain, stepped into the skipper's shoes at a critical time. How do you cope with that pressure?
There wasn't a lot of pressure, other than we were playing for pride. When you put on a Cornish shirt, you play for pride anyway. So we were playing for history, and we were letting ourselves down as well as the crowd, so we decided to try and go up a gear, and we pulled it out.
And how important was that Cornish crowd support? It looked tremendous.
It was very important. They've supported us for the past 4 years, and when the chips are really down, it does give a player encouragement to hear them screaming and shouting. So
sure.
Yeah.
And the coach, Dave Thomas, 16th year, Sweet 16 it turned out to be. I'm told you're renowned for your pre-match chat. What did you say to them this time? It obviously worked.
Well, I don't know really. You have to think of things that you know are going to motivate them on the field and give you that little bit extra. I did tell them a bit of a story at the end. I received a parcel during the week in the build-up to the game, and inside were 2 packets of extra strong mints. And I'm a big eater of extra strong mints during the game, and it was some Cornish supporter from Southampton who'd sent me these. And I started to tell the story about this, and the players were worried that I was going to say he died at the end of the week, but not quite so. Just one of the many expatriates who give us that tremendous support that sees us through to these sort of things.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Congratulations. Let's hope it was the first to exceed 100 miles an hour.